congressman in here, yo! Oh, snap! What's he got to say about this? Huh? What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus, and I got a very special guest in the house. He's actually a friend of mine. I just call him Chris, but Congressman Chris sounds, it has a ring to it.
Candidate for Congress.
But hey, I'm putting the intention in the air, you guys.
I appreciate that.
So he's actually running for Colorado's 5th Congressional District, and I'm here for this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, man.
No, I appreciate that. It's been a long time coming, too, because, I mean, like, I think I was here when you did the first episode.
Yes.
Okay, which was like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, and we were using a cell phone in Denver.
Yeah.
So
well, you got a full studio now.
Yes, we've come a long way. And you were just in college.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're a congressional candidate on the ballot.
I know, the irony.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
How things change.
I was studying politics at the University of Colorado as a first-generation university student in my mid-30s. Okay?
There you have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have fun with it. Now, I don't know if I should title this like congressional candidate, you know, first getting introduced to Rage Against the Machine killing in the name. But, yo, it's going down. And maybe that or millennial. But, yo, if you're here for it, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get it.
40-year-old boys are back in town.
Let's get it.
Boys are back in town. 40-year-old boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40.
All right, you guys, let me get this logo down and pull the video up. Don't forget to support the original content on the channel. But most importantly, if you want to check out my dude, Chris, and his, congressional run, I'm going to link his info in the description. He is starting his campaign. We're doing some fundraising and a bunch of stuff. He's going to start speaking. He's going to be on a bunch of other platforms. And if you'd like to check him out, man, hit the link in the description. I'd appreciate it. I know he'd appreciate it. And have some candor, man. Like the world is changing, and I think we need some young and new perspectives of thinking, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's Christopher Sweat for Congress.com, too. It's easy to remember.
Hello. All right, let's just get into this. Now, shout out to the members. If you want to become a member on the channel, links in the description as well. There's no obligation, but you do get access to these reactions early and perks in the live stream. Now, let's get into it, man. So you've never heard Rage Against the Machine, killing in the name. So are you ready?
Exactly. I'm ready.
All right, let's get it. Here we go, you guys.
Let's get it.
Cowbells.
All right, this is a banger. Okay. Makes me want to mosh.
Killing in the name of.
Damn. They're going in.
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
Okay.
Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you. 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 Now you do what they told you.
Okay.
And now you do what they told you. 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 And now you do what
Wow. Okay, so they've repeated the same 3 sentences for the first 2 minutes of the song. And I don't know. I can't tell where they're going. It feels very atheistic.
He said atheistic. All right, well, I'm going to show you where they're going.
Okay.
Young Christopher. Okay. All right, let's get it popping, man. Here we go.
What they told ya. You now you do what they told ya. You now you do what they told ya. You now you do what they told ya. Those who died are justified for wearing the badge. Ain't that chosen white? You're justified. Those that died for wearing the badge. Ain't that chosen white? Those who died are justified for wearing the badge. Ain't that chosen white? You're justified. Those who died for wearing the badge. Ain't that chosen white? Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
Now, where do you think we're going with it?
Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, the way they're changing the tempo,
Yeah.
very incredible.
From the beginning, you're like, okay, then they go right when
Yes.
it drops, you're like,
I think there's been 3 tempo changes that are in the structure of this song.
yeah.
There's like a bridge, a hook, and a verse tempo that are very different from each other.
Yeah.
The lyrics are so abstract. I'm still struggling with what the message is.
Okay. Okay.
But the musicality is sharp.
What do you think the message is directed towards?
It's anti-law enforcement, so killing in the name of the state, and I'd assume this is an anti-state message or an anti-law enforcement message.
Okay.
Because some of those that work forces, what is that, the police force?
Yes, I would guess.
Okay, and
Because they say badge.
killing in the name, police,
Yeah.
the state.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're onto something. Now, this is what's crazy. This is cool because we got a legit politician. In the house.
Yeah, apparently.
But remember the time these came out.
The late
This
90s.
was in the 90s, and there were. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I try to look at the statistics, and sometimes when we go into the statistics of the things going on with the police versus some of the protesting, when I started going down, I was like, oh, the statistics, like when BLM happened,
Yeah.
I thought maybe 500 or 1,000 black people were being killed a year by the state or the police, and that's just not happening. It's actually a lot lower than I thought. And then when I started seeing the violent crimes committed amongst different demographics, and so I thought that was interesting. But what I want to go back to is the 90s was different, because there are documentaries about corrupt police forces.
Sure.
And I think the balance of being open to saying, hey, there's some good cops, there's some bad cops. Can we make this better?
Right.
Because when we lose the popo, we start seeing, because like I throw concerts and I've been seeing like, oh, the cops can't show up when someone pulls a gun out at a
Right.
venue, and they're overworked, and there's
Right.
things where you need their help. So it's interesting. But I think you're onto something.
But you got to remember that at the time this probably came out was just right after Rodney King. And
Message.
and Rodney King was probably the first time that police behavior was documented at the scale that it
like
had.
virality in a video.
I mean, people knew the police were behaving certain ways in certain communities, but did they have evidence?
Yes.
And that was the most blatant evidence of police behavior in Los Angeles at the time.
Yep.
So I'm sure they're responding to this to a degree.
Message. All right, let's go, man. We out here with Rage Against the Machine. We got introducing him to killing in the name of. Let's get it.
Let's get
Some
it.
of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of
The state.
killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you.
This is the
Now
bridge.
you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. You're under control. Now
Build
you do
up.
what they told you.
Yeah.
You're under control. Now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And
probably using a piece of metal on the string.
Oh, a piece of or a whammy bar or
plastic or metal.
I see. I don't know. I'm still learning about a lot of guitar players and stuff, but it definitely sounds different. Like they're going crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It might just be a pitch or a tone too on the guitar with the knobs.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Motherfucker!
Damn, they can play. All right, what you think, man? Where you at with that?
The music's good, but the politics are pretty far away from my political beliefs. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've heard this song, but I know that Rage Against the Machine was like a widely known for expressing hard left anarchist style politics.
Sure. Even right there, they showed it. Like the security is saying, "Hey, you can't stage dive." Why?
Yeah.
Because we probably will get sued, insurance,
Yes.
as business people are like, and he's just like, yo, I'm ready to fight you.
Yeah.
Let them jump off the stage. And there's something valiant that I love about that, like freedom, that rebelliousness. But at the same time, as I've gotten older and matured, I'm like, oh, there's a balance we have to keep because I got kids to raise.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want a bunch of dudes, in my neighborhood going cray. You know what I
Right.
mean? I got 2 daughters and we got to keep it real.
Well, and there is there is no such thing as a high-functioning society that doesn't have a capable law enforcement.
Sure.
It's impossible to have like a civil society without domestic law enforcement. But his idea was the law enforcement is telling me what to do, and I reject that.
Yeah.
Right. And anarchy, in a lot of ways, is synonymous with chaos because it's arguing for dissolution of the state, dissolution of the hierarchy, and a rejection of authority.
Sure.
So he probably has a trust fund and he started a band with his homeboys in California. Right, because that's luxury politics if I've ever seen it.
Oh,
yeah, because it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not practical. So, but the music's great. The lyrics, I mean, he went with a very basic, repetitive narrative that went from the police to the government to rejection of authority.
Sure.
To me, that was like the 3 phases of the lyrics. From a lyrical perspective, I definitely think they could have made a more rigorous argument. So I think I would give the lyrics a 0 out of 10.
That's crazy because this is their biggest song in history.
I don't doubt it because you can scream the lyrics, you can destroy property, you can be chaotic, right? Like it's the perfect song for people that don't like following any kinds of rules.
Which
right?
I was that in my 20s. I was that.
I had an anti-state period in my 20s.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, growing up in this community, it's not uncommon for military veterans to feel a certain kind of lack of trust of government or anti-state beliefs. And then, when you're growing up around a lot of conservatives, you don't want the government in your business.
Sure.
So you prioritize private property, and individual freedom versus having the government make decisions for you in your own home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of the values that we grew up around here in Colorado.
This is the craziest reaction. That's the craziest.
So this guy would be like the Antichrist. Like I wouldn't doubt if the church or the evangelical community ran campaigns banning this music from Christian institutions.
Sure.
Because technically there's like like atheistic overtones, anarchy. You can't recognize a God in a hierarchicalist society, right? Like it's impossible. So the politics are repulsive, but the project is fascinating.
Yo, so I'm going to just say this because I try to strip this down on the channel and just enjoy the music. I love the music, and this is like the anthem for war. Like during 2020, F you, I won't do what you tell me. This is what's going on in my mind before I spar in jiu-jitsu. These are the type of things that I really enjoy. So I love stripping it down to the music. I did always have some questions because, I saw some of the comments about Rage Against the Machine. And one of my biggest things is if you are raging against the machine,
right,
in my personal opinion, you probably should be an independent band. And they're one, like, even with these reactions, their label blocks the reactions. I have to put in an appeal. So it's just like, it's so interesting when you said, oh, trust fund. I was like, I never thought of it like that. But it is interesting when we put this messaging, which is anti-authority, freedom, but then if we're not independent, if we don't own our full masters of our music, because, I'm an artist that believes in those things very deep. I was curious, do they own their masters? Are they still on a label? Like, how does that look for, because you're anti-establishment, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
But the corporation is actually the fundamentals.
Distributing their sound.
Yes. So the corporation.
Putting them on stages.
And the industry and the infrastructure is putting this. So
putting them in retail. Putting them at the Video Music Awards.
It's just like Alanis.
Capturing their licensing.
It's just like Alanis Morissette said.
Okay.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Well,
it's so crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's just wild.
So technically, the machine too would be the system, which would be the economic, political system, right? So they're raging against the system, which I think like there is an argument that this kind of critique could inspire other people to get involved and like try to make a change.
Yes.
But you don't want to dissolve the system. It's too unstable. So it's like, how do we find practical solutions to work in the system that we have?
Sure.
Well,
all right, man. You just lost my vote.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
If you guys want to check out the homie Chris, he's running for Congress here in Colorado Springs. Link in the description. But we'd love to hear some of your candor about Rage Against the Machine in the comments, and I'm sure the end of this might do that. But on that note, I am getting the F out of here. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
Yeah, until next time, y'all. 40.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. 40. FUQ
40.
boy.